Roy Edward Ayers Jr., born September 10, 1940 and died on March 4, 2025, was an American vibraphonist, record producer, and composer. Ayers began his career as a post-bop jazz artist, releasing several studio albums with Atlantic Records before his tenure at Polydor Records beginning in the 1970s, during which he helped pioneer jazz funk. He is a key figure in the acid jazz movement and has been described as the Godfather of Neo Soul. He is best known for his compositions Everybody Loves the Sunshine, Lifeline, and No Stranger to Love. Ayers was listed among the performers whose music was most often sampled by rappers. Early life. Roy Edward Ayers Jr. was born in Los Angeles on September 10, 1940. He grew up in a musical family where his father played trombone and his mother played piano. At the age of 5, he was given his first pair of vibraphone mallets by Lionel Hampton. The area of Los Angeles that Ayers grew up in, South Park, later known as South Central, was at the center of the Southern California black music scene. He attended Thomas Jefferson High School that formed a formative part of the Central Avenue jazz scene. During high school, Ayers sang in the church choir and fronted a band named the Latin Lyrics, in which he played steel guitar and piano. His high school, Thomas Jefferson High School, produced various talented musicians, such as Dexter Gordon. Personal life. Ayers married his wife Argyri in the early 1970s, and together they had 3 children. He also had a son, the writer Nabil Ayers, from an earlier relationship. Nabil published the memoir My Life in the Sunshine, Searching for My Father and Discovering My Family in 2022. His daughter Ayana had also been managing him recently until his death. Ayers wrote the song Holiday when civil rights activists were working to have the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday recognized as a holiday, and several musicians were trying to raise awareness. He told Creative Loafing in 2017, "I had so much respect for what Martin Luther King and Coretta Scott King had done for the country and civil rights that when Stevie Wonder called, I was really happy to get involved." He added, "We knew that the criticism was coming. We didn't care because we knew we were doing the right thing. I come from a family of educators, so it was natural to be a part of a campaign that helped inspire people and bring people closer together." Awards and honors. In 2011, Ayers was honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Congress of Racial Equality, a civil rights organization that has fought for the rights and interests of minorities and the impoverished for more than 60 years. A documentary called Roy Ayers Connection, formerly known as the Roy Ayers Project, has been in development since 2010. In a May 2022 update on the project, the filmmaker stated, "The goal of the Roy Ayers Project has always been to create a documentary on Roy Ayers, but it took me 10 years to realize that the mission of the Roy Ayers Project was not about a documentary. The goal was to make a documentary, but the mission was to celebrate the life and legacy of Roy Ayers." The @Royan Instagram account describes it as a multimedia project highlighting the life and legacy of jazz legend Roy Ayers and all that is connected to him. Career. In 1962, Roy began his music career as a bebop sideman, and he dropped out of LA's City College to join jazz flautist Herbie Mann in the mid-1960s. In the 60s, he released the albums West Coast Vibes, 1963, Virgo Vibes, 1967, Stone Soul Picnic, 1968, and Daddy Bug, 1969, and in the early 70s, he launched the band Roy Ayers Ubiquity. He released 10 albums with Roy Ayers Ubiquity, with Change Up the Groove, 1974, Mystic Voyage, 1975, Everybody Loves the Sunshine, 1976, Vibrations, 1976, Lifeline, 1977, and Star Booty, 1978, making it onto the Billboard 200 chart. Lifeline reached the top 10 on the Billboard Top R&B/Hip Hop Albums chart. Roy composed, arranged, and produced the 1973 Coffee soundtrack, which reached number 31 on the Billboard Jazz LPs chart. In 1977, he produced the rap album Come Into Knowledge and released the single Running Away, which peaked at number 19 on the Hot R&B/Hip Hop Songs chart. In 1978, Ayers released the album Let's Do It, and it reached number 33 on the Billboard 200 chart. His next 6 albums, You Send Me, 1978, Fever, 1979, No Stranger to Love, 1979, Love Fantasy, 1980, Africa, Center of the World, 1981, and Feeling Good, 1982, also charted on the Billboard 200, and they all reached the top 50 on the top R&B/hip hop albums chart. In 1979, Roy had a top 10 hit on the Hot Disco/Dance chart with Don't Stop the Feeling. In the late 70s, he spent 6 weeks touring Nigeria with Afrobeat musician Fela Kuti, and in 1980, the album Music of Many Colors was released in Nigeria, featuring songs by Ayers Band on one side and Africa's 70 on the other. Roy then released the albums Silver Vibrations, 1983, Driving On Up, 1983, In the Dark, 1984, You Might Be Surprised, 1985, I'm the One, For Your Love Tonight, 1987, and Wake Up, 1989, and he performed on the 1988 Whitney Houston single Love Will Save the Day. In 1994, he was featured on the charity album Stolen Moments, Red Hot Plus Cool, which was put out by the Red Hot organization to raise money for the fight against AIDS. Time magazine named it Album of the Year. Ayers released the album Nast in 1995, followed Perfection in 2000 and Mahogany Vibe and Virgin Ubiquity, unreleased recordings 1976 to 1981 in 2004. In 2015, he performed on Tyler, the Creator's song Find Your Wings. Roy also launched 2 record labels, Gold Mink Records and Uno Melodic. Death. Ayers died at a hospital in Manhattan, New York, on March 4, 2025, at the age of 84, after suffering from a long illness. Rest in peace, Roy Edward Ayers Jr. You may have gone, but you will never be forgotten. Thank you for watching and kindly subscribe, like and share this video to family and friends.